Well, good morning, everybody. Good early morning. I don't know if you can hear this, but the coffee pot is making coffee. And I'm excited. I'm excited because this came yesterday from Amazon. And you know, one of my simple pleasures in life is collecting gadgets. And this thing came. And today I have no idea how it works. I've never even seen one in person. But I think it has great potential as a tool for carnivores, an inexpensive tool for people that don't have tremendously large kitchens. And the reason I bought it was that Amazon now has got an almost 50% off deal, limited time deal, and I think it's going to stay through the Prime days this week for about $75. This is the Instant Pot, and I've been calling it an Instapot, and everybody else calls it an Instapot. And I got an email from one of my viewers saying, you're going to aggravate a lot of hardcore Instant Pot fans if you keep calling it an Instapot, and I'm eternally grateful for that advice. If it keeps me from getting 5,000 comments, I will try very, very hard not to call it an Instapot. Amazing, isn't it? Anyway, that thing came yesterday, and because it's on special now, and I want to check it out, and I don't see any reason why I shouldn't recommend it, because I've gotten an awful lot of comments of people telling me how great it is and all the things it can do. I want to try to do something real quick with it. I want to see, kind of get it out of the box, wash it out, get it ready to go. I got this chuck roast right here. I think the first thing I want to try to do, because it's probably something I'll use it for very often, would be to slow cook or pressure cook. And I'll read the directions and try to find out which I think is best. A chuck roast. So this thing has been thawing in the refrigerator. I'm just going to put it over here and leave it out to thaw until we get this thing out of the box. So here we go. And it's exciting. It's exciting. Anyway, I was saying, $75 on Amazon right now. I'll put a link in the description of this video. The link's also on my website, and most of you know this already. oldguycarnivore.com. There's a page called Links to Stuff I Use Every Day, and on that are all of the Amazon links for the air fryers, the pots and pans, the gadgets, a lot of the food items, everything that I have bought with my own money and used to help me succeed and make carnivore easier. That's oldguycarnivore.com. Links to stuff I use every day. You guys use that a lot. I appreciate it. It helps me be able to do this and put the amount of time in it that I do. This is how it came. It came in a big cardboard box, and it had some paper holding it, and the box was about twice as big as this. I said, holy cow, that thing is so much bigger than I thought it would be. But then when I opened it, this thing was in there. So let's cut this plastic away. This is not, knife definitely needs to be sharpened. But we will open this up, and boy, first thing I see is spaghetti and meatballs. Not a great first impression there. Instant Pot. I guess maybe for so many people that might be something that I would rather see a steak. What else have we got here? We have chicken breasts on a salad. Oh, God. Typical low-fat nonsense. And what's this up here? Looks like shrimp. Anyway, I'm just not interested in any of the stuff that they show on their cover. But it's a pretty box. It's called the Instant Pot Duo Plus multi-cooker, 9-in-1, pressure cook, slow cook, rice steam, yogurt, sous vide, and more. And that was one of the things about this. One of the reasons I bought it is that if your space is limited and your budget is limited and you still want to do sous vide and you don't even have a vacuum sealer, if you had one of these gizmos for 75 bucks and you picked up from, I've got the link on my website, a couple of these food safe silicone rubber bags, you can sous vide without having to vacuum seal things, because this uses an immersion method where you put the food in it, and as you push it down in the water, it squeezes all the air out from around the food. And you just have to make sure that the top of the bag remains opened and outside of the water, which I would imagine you can rig up something or some way to do it in this. We'll try it and see. So for some, this might be a great solution without having to fall into the addiction that I have for gadgets and countertop appliances. But I have an ulterior motive. I have a YouTube channel to make. I have recommendations to make, new recipes to come up with. And I do this stuff, believe it or not, for you. I try these things out, see if we can come up with less expensive, less work, easy cleanup methods to do this. For me, I've been settled into carnivore for almost 2 years now. And I'm perfectly happy doing things the way that I have been doing them. So I'm doing this to show you some more options, and I'm having fun doing it. So let's see what we have here. We have Get Started Instant Pot Duo Plus User Manual. It has writing inside. That's a plus. Discover Amazing, it says on this envelope. Discover Amazing. Not, and of course they had the Scotch tape it, but it doesn't appear to be a very thick envelope to have all that amazing in it, but let's see what's in it. Meet our air purifiers. They want to sell me an air purifier. And there's a recipe for sweet and sticky ribs, neither of which would be of any interest to me. Now, what do we got here? We got a big orange seal kind of thing. We have a power cord. We have packing material. We have an appliance. At first glance, could be a tiny shop vac. Could be a small generator. And we have nothing else in the box. So, keeping things neat after the drama of throwing things around like I didn't care, I will pick them up, put them back in the box, and I always save these boxes because if something happens, I want to return. I want to be able to return this thing. So, it's not heavy at all. Much lighter than an air fryer. It's a lot smaller, but when you put it next to an air fryer, it doesn't look all that much smaller. But in depth and everything, it certainly is. I don't think there'd be a kitchen where this wouldn't fit. All right, I imagine that the first thing you would do would be to remove the tape and stuff like that. Maybe I should read the directions because I always miss something. Manly pride, I suppose. But since I've never even owned a pressure cooker, I don't see how that goes on there, but must fit somehow. I don't know much about pressure cookers. The beauty of me doing this for you is that I'm learning right along with you. There's this thing here that says warning, hot steam from steam release valve can cause burns. Do not place hand over the steam release. Okay, I think obviously you have to take the steam release off because this thing is somehow around it and I don't want to force anything. So let's look at the instructions here real quick. Warning, 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 pages of warnings. 4 full pages of warnings. 5 pages of warnings. What's in the box? Okay, sealing, ring rack, float valve. Stand the lid up in the base handles to keep it off your countertop. Insert the left. Okay. We have a pot inside. I think you open this thing by turning it. It's all stainless steel inside. Looks like it's built very well. But I think you just have to rip this thing off of here. I don't think this. I don't know. I pulled it out, but it's still down in there, and I don't know if. Oh, yes, it does come off. There is a rubber seal, and an O-ring fits, and this just presses down on there. So that's good. We got rid of the warning that not to burn our hands. And I leave most of those other labels on. We have a yellow piece of paper in here that has 37 different languages. Read warning cards and warning stickers. Remove all packaging materials and remove warning cards from the cooker and accessories. Oh, I thought the warning cards would make nice seasoning for my chuck roast. Read all instructions, paying attention to important safeguards. Do not place hands, face, or unprotected steam over the steam release. Do not force the lid open when the float valve is still open in the popped up position. When performing initial test run, add 3 cups of water to the inner pot. See user manual for getting started. Warning, do not fill inner pot higher than 2/3 line. Extreme caution for this and that and the other thing. Thank you very much. We'll try not to kill ourselves or mortally wound ourselves with this Instant Pot. Okay, so we've got that. Inside of here, we have a rack, the use of which should probably be pretty obvious, to keep something off the bottom or to lift something out. I say you can put a pork butt or a roast or something on this and then lift it out of the pot without having to dig the food out. That's nice, like that. We have, this is Christmas every day here at the old guy's house. Then we have a nice stainless steel pot. Look at that, it's gorgeous. Beautiful and shiny. It's got some fill marks. One says max, the other says half. It says Instant Pot etched on the front of it. Very nice. And more paper. And this says never use the Instant Pot without the stainless steel inner pot in place. Well, duh. We have a control panel on the front right here. And that control panel, I've heard people say, oh, that model doesn't have sous vide. Well, there's a button right there that says sous vide. And we are going to plug it in and everything else, but let's see what we need to do to get started with this. So if it needs to heat up first time, do something with water, we can do it. All right, I've washed it out. I've determined that there are two different rings. There's an orange one and a clear one. The clear one's already installed. It says you can use them for different purposes. One ring maybe for only sweet stuff, assuming that maybe the ring might absorb some of that, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I put the pot back in this thing, plugged it in. It now says that it's off. So I've installed the sealing ring. Tells me how to remove it. Tells me I need to remove it after each use and wash it. Doesn't appear to be too hard to get in and out of there. Anti-block shield. The anti-block shield prevents food particles from coming up through the steam release. An integral part of product safety. The anti-block shield must be installed before use and cleaned frequently. I would imagine that this thing right here, according to the picture, is the anti-block shield. It shows that you should be able to pull it straight up and take it out. Maybe there's a trick to it. There it is. It does pop off. There's a little clip under there. So you're supposed to keep this clean as well, and it snaps on. It's not hard to get off. The first time, you don't want to break something, so I don't use too much force. So the anti-block shield is installed. Float valve. The float valve is a visual indication of whether there is pressure in the cooker or not pressurized. Okay, well, that's this thing right here. We'll see how that works when we fire it up. How to install and remove the float valve. Steam release valve. Remove the steam release valve, which I've already done. You just pull it up. It's weighted. It's got O-ring on it. Tells you how to put it back. Test run. Here we go. Test run. Add 3 cups. So we now have 3 cups of water in this thing. We're going to place the inner cooking pot. Did that. Place the lid on the top of the cooker base and lock the lid. So there's got to be a particular place where this goes, or a place to start. I guess there it is. So what happens is you got this cutout thing here, and you got this thing here. It goes in here like this, and you turn it to the right. And the lid is closed. Yes. So we hit pressure cook. We hit 5 minutes. Thank you very much. Press keep warm to turn off the electric keep warm setting. Press start to begin. It says on. There's a progress bar across the top. The message displays on. When cooking is done, the display shows end. Okay, we'll be back. We'll be back when it's done. I moved the thing over. I like to put these appliances on my cooktop under the hood. There's a little steam came out of it. It has finished the overheat cycle, and it's now starting to blink. It's down to 4 minutes, and it's in the pressure cooking cycle. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if this thing makes a lot of noise, if it lets out a lot of steam, and I'll let you know. Let you know what happened. I'm curious to see what happens when it gets down to the end. It says end. And I don't know if I have to do anything. It's beeping like crazy. It stopped beeping. It says end. I have the keep warm turned off. I'm wondering, what do I have to do when it's done? Okay, it says when cooking is done, the display shows end. Release steam by moving the steam release switch to the vent position. That's up here. Oh, pretty cool. Look at that, making steam. Maybe it'll steam clean my my range hood filter while it's at it. The float valve will drop. Okay. Unlock and open the lid. All right. So we'll let that steam pressure get out of there. We'll open it up and take a look. I'll be careful not to touch anything. I will go in here and get one of my silicone rubber little Muppet mitts here. I like these things. You know what this reminds me of? Senor Wences. Do you remember Senor Wences? He used to have the little puppet on his hand, and he'd go, "It's all right," and the puppet would go, "It's all right." This reminds me of Senor Wences. There, the thing dropped. So I imagine at this point I can open the lid, lift it off, and I have it's dripping. I have successfully cooked. And it came out beautifully. 3 cups of water. Terrific. It works. It works. I think that this video is long enough already. I am going to do some research and find out what the best way to cook a 3 or 4 pound chuck roast is in this thing. I'm going to let this cool off. I am going to come back, and my next video will be me testing this out to cook a chuck roast and learning more about it so I can show you. We'll go over the whole control panel, the different modes that really apply, like sous vide mode, pressure cooking mode, slow cooking mode. We'll test those out. But I think, from what I hear, the food comes out excellent. Looks like a well-made appliance. It's cheap as hell. Doesn't take up a lot of counter space. I think it might not be a bad idea. Beautiful thing about Amazon, you got 30 days to return it. That's why I don't hesitate, people. Buy these things even before I've run them through the ringer. I haven't had many people return anything I recommended yet, so keep in mind, on my website, oldguycarnivore.com, links to the stuff I use page, or there's also a link to this thing because it is says limited time, 46% off or something like that, $74.95. A lot of people grabbed up those air fryers at $179, that Ninja, and it's, last I looked, it was back up to $200, and it won't be long before it's back up into $279, $329, something like that. I think you need to grab these specials from Amazon while they're putting them out. And so far, I haven't regretted any of them. So with that, my friends, I'm going to finish this video. I'm going to give you the rest of the day off, except for this afternoon. Come to see me in my live stream. I do every Saturday at 3 p.m. And always, always eat meat.